Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet wide, and 2 1/4 feet high. He overlaid it with pure gold inside and outside, and put a molding of gold for it around the top. He cast 4 rings for it on its 4 feet, 2 rings on each side. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He put the carrying poles for the ark and the rings on the sides of the ark. He made a cover for the ark of pure gold, 3 3 cubits, 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet wide. He made 2 cherubim of gold. He made them of hammered work for the 2 ends of the ark cover, 1 cherub for one end and 1 cherub for the other end. He made the cherubim of one piece in the ark cover at its 2 ends. The cherubim had their wings spread out above, so that their wings covered the ark. Their faces were toward each other and toward the ark cover. He made the table of acacia wood 3 feet long, 18 inches wide, and 18 inches high. He overlaid it with pure gold and put a molding of gold around the top of it. He made around it a rim a handbreadth wide and put a molding of gold around the rim. He cast it 4 gold rings and attached the gold rings for the 4 corners near its 4 legs. The rings to hold the carrying poles for the table were placed close to the rim. He made the carrying poles of the table of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He made the utensils to be put on the table, its dishes, pans, bowls, and pitchers of pure gold. He made the menorah of pure gold. He made it of hammered work. Its base, shaft, cups, rings, and outer leaves and flowers were a single unit. There were 6 branches extended from its sides, 3 branches of the menorah on one side of it, and 3 on the other. On one branch were 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, a ring of outer leaves and petals. Likewise, on the opposite each branch, 3 cup shapes like almond blossoms, a ring of outer leaves and petals, and similarly for all 6 branches extended from the menorah. On the central shaft of the menorah were 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with its ring and an outer leaves and petals, where each pairs of branches joined the central shaft with a ring of outer leaves and one piece with a pair of branches. Thus for all 6 branches, their rings and outer leaves and their branches were of one piece with the shaft. Thus the whole menorah was one piece of hammered work made of pure gold. He made its 7 lamps, its tongs, and its trays of pure gold. The menorah and its utensils were made of 66 pounds of pure gold. He made the altar, of which the incense of acacia wood, 18 inches square and 3 feet high. Its horns were a single unit. He overlaid it with pure gold, its top and all around its side, its horns, and he put around it a molding of gold. He made the 2 gold rings from under its molding and the 2 corners on both sides to hold the carrying poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. He made the holy anointing oil and pure incense of aromatic plant substances, as would an expert perfume maker. He made the altar for a burnt offering of acacia wood, 7 1/2 feet long and 7 1/2 feet wide. It was square and 4 1/2 feet high. He made horns for it on its 4 corners. The horns were of one piece with it, and he overlaid it with bronze. He made all the utensils for the altar, its pots, shovels, basins, meat hooks, and fire pans, and all its utensils were made of bronze. He made the altar of the grat of bronze netting. Under its rim, reaching halfway up the altar, its 4 rings for the 4 ends of the bronze grat to hold the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. He put the carrying poles into the ring on the sides of the altar. He made it of planks and hollow inside. He made the basin of bronze with its base of bronze for the mirrors of the women serving at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He made the courtyard. On the south side, facing southward, the tapestries for the courtyard were made of finely woven linen, 150 feet long, supporting on 20 posts in 20 bronze sockets. The hooks of the posts and the attached rings for the hanging were of silver. On the north side, they were 150 feet long, hung on 20 posts in 20 bronze sockets, with the hooks of the posts and their rings of silver. On the west side were tapestries, 70 feet long, hung on 10 posts and 10 sockets, with the hooks of the posts of their rings of silver. On the east side of the tapestries, 75 feet long. The tapestries for one side of the gateway were 2.5 feet long, hung on the 3 posts of the 3 sockets, likewise for the other side. On either side of the gate were tapestry, 22.5 feet long, and 3 posts in 3 sockets. All the tapestries for the courtyard, all the way around, were of finely woven linen. The sockets for the posts were of bronze, the hooks on the posts and their rings were of silver. The capitals of the posts were overlaid with silver, and all the posts of the courtyard were branded with silver. The screen for the gateway of the courtyard was the work of a weaver, in colors of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely woven linen. Its length was 30 feet long, and its height 7.5 feet long all the way around, like the tapestry of the courtyard. It had 4 posts and 4 bronze sockets with silver hooks, capitals overlaid with silver and silver fasteners. The tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard around it were of bronze. These were the accounts of the tabernacle of the testimony recorded as Moshe ordered by the Levites, under the direction of Itamar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen, priest. Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, the tribe of Yehuda, made everything that Adonai had ordered Moshe to make. Assisting him was Oliv, the son of Ashemach, of the tribe of Dan, who was an engraver, a designer of a weaver in clothes, in colors of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and in fine linen. And the gold used to work in everything needed for the sanctuary. The gold of the offering weighed 29 talents, 730 shekels. That's 1,930 pounds, using the sanctuary shekel. The silver given by the community weighed 100 talents. That's 1,775 shekels, 6,650 pounds, using the sanctuary shekel. This was a beka per person, that is, half a shekel, 1/5 of an ounce, using the sanctuary shekel. For everyone with 20 years or older, counted in the census 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were used to cast the sockets for the sanctuary and the sockets for the curtain. 100 sockets made for the 100 talents, 1 talent, 66 pounds per socket. The 1,775 shekels, 55 pounds, he used to make hooks for the posts, to overlay their capitals, and to make fasteners for them. The bronze in the offering came to 4,680 pounds. He used it to make the sockets for the entrance of the tent of meeting, the bronze altar, the bronze gate, and all the utensils for the altar, the sockets for the courtyard around it, the sockets of the gateway of the courtyard, all the tent pegs for the tabernacle, of all the tent pegs for the courtyard around it. From the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn he made the garment for officiating, for serving the holy place. And they made the holy garments for Aaron, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He made the ritual vest of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and finely woven linen. They hammered the gold into the thin plates and cut them into threads in order to work it into blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and the fine linen crafted by a skilled artisan. They made shoulder pieces for it, joined together. They were joined together at the 2 ends. The decorated belt on the vest used to fasten it was of the same workmanship and material, gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twined linen, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. They worked the onyx stones mounted in gold settings, engraved them in the names of the sons of Israel, that they be engraved on a seal. Then he put on the shoulder pieces of the vest to be stones calling to mind the sons of Israel, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He made the breastplate. It was crafted by a skilled artisan, and made it like the work of a ritual vest of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely woven linen. When folded double, the breastplate was square, doubled. It was a handspan and a handspan. They put on it 4 rows of stones. The first row was carnelian, a topaz, and an emerald. The second row was a green feldspar, sapphire, and a diamond. The third row, an orange zircon, an agate, and an amethyst. The fourth row, a beryl, onyx, and a jasper. They were mounted in settings of gold. The stones corresponded to the names of the 12 tribes, 12 sons of Israel. They were engraved with their names as a seal would be engraved, each name representing one of the 12 tribes. On the breastplate, they made 2 pure gold chains, twisted like cords. Also for the breastplate, they made 2 settings of gold and 2 gold rings, and they put the two rings at the 2 ends of the breastplate. They put the 2 twisted gold chains and the 2 rings at the end of the breastplate, and attached the other 2 ends of the twisted chains in front of the shoulder pieces of the ritual vest. They also made 2 rings and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate and at its edge, on the side facing in toward the vest. Also they made 2 gold rings and attached them low on the front part of the vest, shoulder pieces, near the joint, above the vest's decorated belt. When they bound the breastplate by its rings to the ring of the vest with a blue cord, so that could be on the vest's decorated belt, and so that the breastplate would not swing loose from the vest, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He made the robe for the ritual vest. It was woven entirely of blue, with its opening in the middle like that of a coat of mail, and with a border around the opening so that it wouldn't tear. On the bottom hem they made pomegranate of blue, purple, and scarlet and woven linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates all the wall, around the hem of the robe, between the pomegranates, that is, bell, pomegranate, all the way around the hem of the robe for the service, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. They made the tunics of finely woven linen for Aaron and his sons, the turban of fine linen, the splendid headgear of fine linen, and the linen shorts, and the sash of finely woven linen of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, the work of a weaver in colors, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. They made the ornament for the holy turban of pure gold, wrote on it the words, "Set apart for Adonai," like the engraving on a seal, and tied a blue cord on it and fastened it to the front of the turban, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. Thus all the work for the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, was finished, with the people of Israel doing exactly as Adonai had ordered Moshe. Then they brought the tabernacle of Moshe, the tent and all its furnishings, clasps, planks, crossbars, posts, sockets, the covering of the tan ram skins, and the covering of the fine leather, and the curtain for the screen, the ark of the testimony, its poles and the ark covering, the table and all its utensils, and the showbread, the pure menorah, its lamps, their arrangement for display, its accessories, and the oil for light, the gold altar and the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, the screen for the entrance to the tent, the bronze altar with the bronze gate, poles and all its utensils, the basin with its base, the tapestries for the courtyard with their posts and sockets, the screen for the entrance of the courtyard and its ropes and tent pegs, all the utensils for the service in the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, the garments for officiating, for servicing in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron and the Kohen, and the garments for his sons to serve in the office of Kohen. The people of Israel did all the work just as Adonai had ordered Moshe. Moshe saw all the work, and there it was. They had done it exactly as Adonai had ordered. They had done it, and Moshe blessed them. Adonai said to Moshe, "On the first day of the month, you are to set up the tabernacle, the tent of meeting. Put in it the ark of the testimony, and conceal the ark with the curtain. Bring in the table and arrange its display. Bring in the menorah and light its lamps. Set the gold altar for incense in front of the ark for the testimony, and set up the screen at the entrance to the tabernacle. Place the altar for burnt offerings in front of the tabernacle, in front of the entrance to the tabernacle, the tent of meeting. Set the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. Set up the courtyard all the way around, and hang up the screen for the entrance to the courtyard. Take the anointing oil and anoint the tabernacle and everything in it. Consecrate it with all its furnishings. Then it will be holy. Anoint the altar for burnt offerings with all its utensils. Consecrate the altar, and the altar will be especially holy. Anoint the basin and its base, and consecrate it. Then bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting and wash them with water. Put the holy garments on Aaron and anoint him and consecrate him, so that he can serve me in the office of Kohen. Bring his sons, put tunics on them, and anoint them as you anointed their father, so they can serve me in the office of Kohen. Their anointing will signify that the office of Kohen is theirs through all their generations. Moshe did this. He acted in accordance with everything Adonai had ordered him to do. On the first day of the month, the second year, the tabernacle was set up. Moshe erected the tabernacle, put its sockets in its place, put up its planks, put in its crossbars, and set up its posts. He spread the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent above it, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He took and put the testimony inside the ark, put the poles on the ark, and set the ark cover up above the ark. Then he brought the ark in the tabernacle, set up the curtain as the screen, and concealed the ark for the testimony, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He put the table in a tent of meeting on the side of the tabernacle facing north outside the curtain. He arranged a row of bread on it before Adonai, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He put the menorah in the tent of meeting across from the table on the side of the tabernacle facing south. Then he lit the lamps before Adonai, as Adonai ordered Moshe. He set the gold altar in the tent of meeting in front of the curtain, and burned on it incense made from aromatic spices, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He set up the screen at the entrance of the tabernacle. The altar for burnt offerings he placed at the entrance of the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, and offered on it the burnt offerings and the grain offerings, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. He set the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it for the washing, so that Moshe and Aaron and his sons could wash their hands and their feet there, so that they could wash when entering the tent of meeting, when they approached the altar, as Adonai had ordered Moshe. Finally, he erected the courtyard around the tabernacle of the altar, and set up the screen for the entrance of the courtyard, for the entrance to the courtyard. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of Adonai filled the tabernacle. Moshe was unable to enter the tent of meeting because the cloud remained on it, and the glory of Adonai filled the tabernacle. Whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the people of Israel continued with their travels. But if the cloud was not taken up, they did not continue with all their travels. But if the cloud was not taken up, they did not travel onward until the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Adonai was above the tabernacle during the day, and fire was in the cloud at night, so that all the house of Israel could see throughout all their travels.